Yo, what's poppin'? My name is James Flambo Filio Saint, and y'all are watching the Caster Call. It's about to be lit.
Damn, I lied. I was not ready. No, you know how it gets, man. What's going on, y'all? This is Dom, and I'm back here with the Caster Call, and I'm joined here with my main man Flambo here from Connecticut?
Massachusetts.
Damn, I don't know where any of y'all New England players are from, man, but I try my best. I really do. But yeah, we're here at Collision 2023, and as the name implies, I'm going to be talking to all the casters here at the tournament because you need to get a better idea of who they are as opposed to who the players are. We got something for the players coming, but these are my people. I've been doing this for a while. I got a lot of bias, so we're going to get started like this. And speaking of casters.
What you got?
I got some stuff.
Okay.
I got some stuff. Man, I don't even know where I want to start with you because you are... we'll start here. I think you're one of the more interesting casters that we have in the scene.
Interesting how?
And I mean, like, there's a lot of cast, and I'm not saying that every caster doesn't do this, but it's very apparent that you are yourself on the mic, right? I feel like at no point when I've watched over the past couple of years that there hasn't been like all of you when you put the headset on, right? And I need you to talk about how where does that come from, basically? Like I feel like not everyone can be a lead caster, but I feel like you're one of the kind of guys that cannot be a co-caster. Like I feel like whenever you're on the mic with someone, you have to be the lead. Like your personality has to come out, or it's not really you, right?
Yeah. So okay. So where it comes from is trial and error. To be honest, it's trial and error. No problem. Yeah. No, dude. So when I started commentary, because that's the thing, is like for a lot of commentators, depending on how you're coming up, you have like either a dedicated static partner or you don't.
Right.
And I never had a dedicated static partner. And so like a lot of the way that I learned to do commentary was like trying to build off of other people. But then the thing that I realized was like at a certain point, once you're skilled enough in commentary, I think like no matter who you get paired with, you need to be able to carry.
Right.
Right. And like granted, like once you get good enough, you stop getting paired with people that you have to carry. But like at a certain point when you're like in that mid-range level where you're trying to get better, you're trying to like before you get your first block with like Charles or EE or like Vicky or something, right? Like you're trying to work with these people who are all kind of like gunning toward the same spot. And like there's going to be people who are better than others. And like, you got to be able to like, no matter how trash that other person is, you need to make sure that the broadcast is a certain quality. And so like a lot of where I come from, I tell people all the time is like, if you want to be a commentator, you got to have your gimmick. And like gimmick is like, I don't love the word gimmick because it implies that like there's something not genuine or like some spin on it. But like, I think it holds true. I also call it X factor, might be a better word for it. But it's like, you got to have something that makes you stand out amongst everyone else. And so, like, what is the thing that makes me stand out amongst everyone else? And, like, it's funny because my answer to that question is not good. It's not good. like, what makes Flambo stand out? And my answer is I'm dumb as fuck. That is it. I'm like, I think of something stupid, and I say it out loud with my whole chest, and I just make sure it's not, like, I'm not offending nobody, right. And I'm not, like, trying to make people feel uncomfortable. Sometimes I am, but not in the wrong kinds of ways. You know what I mean? Like, and that's my whole style is just like, I'm a smart dude, I think. I don't know. That's a relative thing, I guess. I try not to be stupid, but I also try to be stupid. It's very silly. Like, I'll look at like this cup on the table, and some people will see, oh, the glass is half empty. Some people will see the glass is half full. And I'm the kind of dude who, like, I spend a little bit of extra time thinking about, like, all right, fuck half empty, half full. Everyone's heard that phrase before. Like, what's another way that I could talk about, like, this cup of water and the amount of content within it? And I might say, like, I don't know, the cup of water is, like, partially thick. That's the stupidest thing I've heard today.
I don't even qualify as partially thick.
Partially. This cup of water, clearly not, right? Losing some fat somewhere. You know, like this cup of water maybe like had some Slim Jims or something. I don't know, right? Like I have to think about it, but it's like that's the wavelength of stupid that I travel across when I do commentary, and I guess that's how I ended up here. I always say I got the perfect attendance award, low key though. Like, Perfect attendance goes hard. It goes hard.
No, because that's the thing, man. You got to show up, and you're someone that definitely does show up because you've been one of the few people in the scene that have done Smash commentary and then also successfully ventured outwards. Like I've seen you do other stuff. I believe Brawlhalla is another game that you've done. What other games have you gotten into that I've maybe missed or that the people don't really know that you've done?
So in terms of games that I've done, I think Brawlhalla was the big first one that I branched out into because like the thing is like I cast mad games realistically, but in terms of notable things, I guess I'll say, right? Like if I pull up to the local gaming spot and they got like a LAN Overwatch tournament, yeah, sure, I'll come cast your Overwatch tournament, but like that's different than like Blizzard coming up to you and saying do Overwatch League, right? So in terms of like events like that, it's really just been Brawlhalla and Multiverses. Those are the two where it's been like, oh, I've worked with like a league or something like that, where it's like I'm working with developers who are like trying to push an esports thing as opposed to the grassroots stuff that Smash is. And like Multiverses, I don't caught me by surprise, bro. That one caught me by surprise because the way I got that gig was like, and that's why I always tell people like the real matters, but the real matters for literally everything that is not Smash. In Smash, it matters a little bit, but for everything outside of Smash, if I'm a dude who's working at a company for a game and I got an esports thing that I'm trying to push, and there's this dude who wants to cast my game, that's where the real matters because there is no background knowledge on who you are in that case. In the Smash community, it's like, oh yeah, I know that guy, I met him at a tournament, but like for Multiverses, I was like, hey yo, I want to cast this game, who do I send my reel to? And they're like, oh yeah, it's this dude on Twitter. Then I messaged that dude on Twitter, and I was like, yo, here's my reel. And he was like, yeah, we picked you because your reel was nice. And I was like, it's from 2019, you know what I mean? But it's like, that's it. It matters. It matters, and people don't know that. But those are the two games I'd say that like I branched out into successfully. I like, this is the not so secret about me is that like I love Smash, but I prefer 2D fighters by like a landslide. Like I think they're easier to cast. One. That might be a controversial statement, but I don't think it is. You're right? Like, it's like, oh, I got an overhead, okay, combo that goes on for X amount of time. Okay, hard knockdown. Okay, okizeme. Okay, run it again. Yeah, exactly, and so it's like, the flow is standard. There is no standard flow in Smash because at any moment something could happen. And it's like, I want to branch out into other fighting games, like more traditional fighters, but like, it's so hard. It's so hard because you don't want to step on anybody's toes. I'm not trying to like pull up on stage and I'm like, yo, let me get you a block. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do that. But it's competitive. It's competitive.
So what I'm hearing is that on June 2nd, 2023, you're gonna be on that Street Fighter 6. Yeah, I know what I know what that means. I know what that means. Yeah, we gonna be in there. You think I'm gonna miss on some Street Fighter 6, baby? You saw the pot at Capcom Cup? Come on now. If they giving the players $1 million, imagine what they giving the people that talk about the game. Come on now. It's just that simple.
Broke, I need help. I need help. Like, please. This esports winner shit, like, it's not doing me any favors.
I'm poor, man. Oh, my God. But now that you've talked about going out into other games, right? I assume you started with Smash, yes?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of derails the whole goddamn question.
Close.
But
No.
you spent the most amount of time in Smash.
Yes.
Okay. So, how do you think that doing Smash commentary for as long as you've done, I think you've been around the same amount of time as me in terms of Smash commentary, right? Because I started in 2015.
This is year 9.
Okay, so that's 2014. Yeah. So you got started like right before I did. But all the time you spent in Smash doing Smash commentary, how do you think it's helped you transition to other games like Brawlhalla, like Multiverses, like doing going back and doing 2D fighters? How do you see the parallels between what you've picked up in Smash commentary and then other games that you've done afterwards?
So the funny thing is before Smash, I did League of Legends.
Oh, shit.
I was not in some LCS stuff though.
Yeah,
I was
still like a crazy place to start at.
So here's the thing. I am used to being broke. I think a lot of us are, honestly, but like back then it was like 2014, I'm probably 20 years old, 19, 20, somewhere around there. And I want Riot points, but I'm not trying to spend money on it. And so the NESL had like, they would let you do commentary for them for like amateur leagues for League of Legends. And then they would pay you out in Riot points. And so I was like, hey, yo, I can get like all these skins and stuff in my character. Because back then, like, they hadn't like redone the whole skin systems of League of Legends. And so like RP was like pretty decent back then. They never paid me out though, and that's why I stopped casting League of
Oh
Legends.
my god.
That's the most esports shit you ever heard, right? Like, they never paid out.
Sucks.
But because of that, I ended up going into like, all right, I watched Homemade Waffles do Melee commentary back in like 06, 07 or something. I was already watching Smash by then. Like, I was deep in it. I just hadn't gone to an event yet.
Yeah.
And so I went to like my first local, and I learned through doing Smash that like, I learned what I liked about commentary.
Okay.
And what I don't like about others, I guess. Because the thing about Smash and what makes Smash so good, and I think the FGC in general, but I think Smash has it. I think Melee in particular has it differently than Smash 4 and Ultimate ever did. I feel like when Smash 4 and Ultimate dropped, there was like some hopefuls that like Nintendo would like hop in and like really like try to push an esports thing or something. And so like the quality of the cast became like a little more esportsy, and you can still feel it in the difference between like Melee casters and Ultimate casters. But also Melee's just like been around longer, and so like it kind of developed with the flow of time, because like at this point Melee is as old as like, it's older than a lot of the people in our scene.
Yeah, it's all these people in this venue that are supposed to win this tournament.
That's facts. And that's facts,
crazy.
right? And so it always has this like homie vibe to it. And like I think the homie vibe is part of just the Smash vibe, is part of the FGC vibe. And when you go to cast other games, that's the spirit that I refuse to let die. Like, I'm never trying to sound like too regular sportsy. I'm always trying to sound casual. I'm always trying to sound like if you saw me in person, you could just pull up and talk to me and it wouldn't be awkward. That's always what I'm trying to preserve. Other than that, though, I guess I would say that I've learned how to work with people, how to work with all kinds of people, because when you go do these other things, they've already like done the scouting for it, right?
Yeah.
So like you're never put with someone who's mid when you go work with like an official company, because they've already like picked out people who have like been seasoned veterans in the craft or whatever. But there's still an aspect of like getting to feel out how other people's styles are, so that when you work with them for the first time, you can mesh and it's not like awkward. That's what I'd say is like the biggest things that I've learned.
That's big. That's a really big skill to take away, because a lot of people don't have that. They don't have that ability to like really kind of mix and match and work with different people. And that's why a little bit about me as a caster. That's why when I came up, I always wanted to be like, I wanted to basically be the perfect co-caster. Like the way I talked about you just now, or at the beginning when I said you have to be a lead, the way that I go into every block, even now after all these years, is still, okay, how can I make this person's job as easy as possible, right? Like, so because that's my mindset when I sit down and put the headset on, I'm always thinking about, okay, what do I know about this person, or what don't I know about this person that I can find out or use to make their commentary look better, right? Because at the end of the day, if I'm fucking casting my ass off and the person next to me is, you know, they're not clicking, or they're afraid to like say the things they would because I'm overbearing, right? It comes down badly on both of us.
No, I agree. I feel like my story for that is always like CEO 2019, I think.
You got a bad
not even a bad co-commentator, like mid to bad. I don't know. So like
not a bad co-commentator, but like a bad block.
It wasn't a bad block because the feedback was a resounding awesome. Oh. But like the thing is that like the feedback was not about me. It was about the person I was co-casting with. But as that person's co-cast, this person was 0, by the way, so it doesn't really matter, right? Because
I forgot. You got hit with the fucking pro player wants to commentate cheese.
Yes.
I totally forgot.
Yes. About that. I had to cast a CEO with 0, and like 0 was a very awkward guy. He was a very awkward guy. Obviously, I mean, regardless of like, independent of the things that elapsed afterward, he was someone that knew a lot about the game and like clearly had that knowledge. And so like when I was commentating with him, I was like, this dude doesn't know how to hand off. He doesn't really know how to take turns, doesn't really know how to like make the conversation not seem too awkward. So let me just like commentate in a way where it makes it very obvious for him to know when to talk. And so let me be like, all right, well, if you have a lot of game knowledge, let me be like, oh man, yeah, I see such and such pick that option there. Why do you think they did that? Boom, question. That means it's time for you to answer it. And so then all the comments on the YouTube videos and the VODs are like, Zero's commentary was so amazing. He was so good. That guy was so great. And I'm like, bro, if only you knew. If only you knew how hard my back, bro. Oh my God.
I was carrying this block in fucking Orlando, Florida, and y'all said nothing. Oh my God. man, I relate. I just know I relate. I have a story. It's actually regarding another one of the casters I'm going to have here on the show here this weekend. It's you know who it is. It's AG. Because we did the Jackaleo block at Shine 2017. And back then, I didn't take it upon myself. I fully blame myself for this. I didn't take it upon myself to make his job easier. So when I did some of my best work personally, but I didn't get him involved enough. So, and I actually got a comment from EE about that block where it's, Jackal made the upset, and that's like the upset of the year for Smash 4, and it didn't sound as good as it could have. And that, again, because I didn't make his job easier, comes down on both of us, and because of who I am, I'm gonna take that personally. Like I didn't take it upon myself
to the moment.
Yeah, exactly. I could have made him better, and I didn't. So now it's both of our faults, right?
Yep.
But man, it's hard being the co-caster, and because you have to deal with the gripe of not also getting the recognition from being the co-caster. But luckily for you, like I said, you're the lead guy. You don't have to deal with that shit. You kidding me?
I just say shit because, like, for me, like, in my brain, I never think of myself as the lead. I always think of myself as the dude who makes sure that the block isn't ass. I'm like, I always make sure that if I hop on the mic, it's never gonna be bad. It might be if I get that means I did a good job. If people are like, oh my god, the commentary was amazing, that means I had like a standout day. But if people don't say anything, that means I'm doing a good job. Because people, when they don't like something, they talk so much shit.
You will hear about it.
Or if they don't got a problem with it, it's crickets. And like, it's hard as a commentator, I think, especially when you're first starting out, to like realize that. Because if people aren't actively saying good things, you're just like, am I doing bad? It's like, no, it means you're doing good. Because like, if I pull up and I go watch like a concert, people will like be in the crowd and they'll like cheer and shit, right? Or if I'm a comedian, people will laugh. But like, when you're a commentator, you're casting to this audience you cannot even see. And so like, all you have is effectively Twitch chat and the tweets you get later in your DMs on Twitter. And it's like, if you get them. And like, rarely are they constructive. But sometimes you get someone who's like, hey, yo, dude, like, you're doing a good job when someone out there is like, I think you're the best commentator of all time. And I'm like,
Clearly, this guy's tweaking, but that means I did a good job.
Right there, TK is right there, Yipes is right there. I appreciate it, but like, I do not see myself that way. But then they're like, nah, bro, you got something different. And I'm like, cool, because I'm not trying to be those people. Right. So if they're like, they like me for being me, I'm cool with that. Because you always want to make sure you're not copying someone else's swagger.
That's real. That's super real. I'm glad you pointed all that stuff out, man. Down to you're not gonna get the feedback that you want. Like that's very important to point out, man. Oh, fuck, it does. We're getting to the end here. Let's see. I hit all the personal questions I had for you. Generic questions. Personal favorite block that you've had in any event in your career. Doesn't matter what game it is. What event do you think back on where you go, damn, first name, Flambo, last name, knock that shit out the park?
Damn. It's tough, but it's like, I know if I fish deep enough in my brain, I can figure it out. Because after every event, if I feel like I had a good moment, I clip it. Because then when you make the reel later, you don't have to think about it. You just look at all the things you clip. Yeah. But I'm like, what is the most standout block I've had in recent memory?
What comes to mind first?
I got a few, actually. So I got at the Brawlhalla Championship Expo last year, I did a top 8 match it was Stingray versus Kaina Ackerman. And Stingray hits like the craziest, because the thing is, like, the best block that you have is in direct correlation to like the gameplay you are watching. Yeah. You can't like have like some mid sets and then like pop off. Like the sets have to be phenomenal, and then thus the commentary has to be phenomenal to match it. And so like the gameplay in that set was wild. And he's like, for people who don't understand Brawlhalla, they don't use percentages, but they use colors. And so, like, if your health is in the deep red, that means you're close to being knocked out. Like, if you get hit, your knockback multiplier is, like, dummy high. And so, like, Stingray is, like, dummy high. Like, dummy high. If he gets hit one more time, he's going to lose. And this dude has 2 stocks. And he has, like, he KOs him. He gets a perfect stock. and then like manages to take the next stock without getting touched once. And like the spacing is crazy. I'm wilding out. But I think the reason it stands out in my brain so much is because we never get this in Smash, but at BCX, your commentary is like blasted to the crowd.
Oh yeah,
and so
it is at a few events, but it's far and few in between.
You can hear like everyone like screaming, and I'm like, I remember because like the line I said was like, "Stingray is too goddamn clutch," and it was like everyone like popped off, and like for Brawlhalla, like damn is like the line I can say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't go past that. So it's like, that was the closest I could get to saying an expletive that matched the moment while also everyone was just like hype as shit. And like, that's what lives in my brain. Either that or Evo. Because Evo is Evo. Multiverses was crazy. But like, that moment, Stingray's just the GOAT. Is really what it is. Stingray's just the GOAT.
Shout out Stinger for giving me the best moment of my career. That's good.
It's either that or it's like one of the times I said nigga.
Pull an arbiter.
There's this clip from Collision. Is it last year? It's last year. It's last year at Collision, and it's me and Koopa, and then like Light is playing Cola, and like Light comes up, and I'm like, oh snap, coming up to the screen, it's like Paris Ramirez. That's my fucking son right there. I love that dude. Like, that's your guy. That's my nigga. And then fucking Koopa's just like, yeah, so anyway.
Why the fuck do you scare Kyle like that, bro? Cause you know Kyle. We know Kyle. You can't do that to him. He's such a sweet person. You can't do that to him, bro. All right, so we're going to go to the end here. All right, so now we're getting to the end of my great talk here with Flambo. So now I'm gonna pass the mic back over to you. You're gonna be able to plug yourself, anything you got going on, events you're working on, social media.
Collision winner prediction.
Oh yeah. So yeah, scratch all that. All right, man. I got Fabs already, and you're sitting here, so you can't escape it.
Okay.
Who's winning Collision 2023?
I mean, am I speaking statistically, or am I speaking based off of heart?
Who does Flambo think will win Collision 2023?
All right. Well, off the heart, it's Light free. Because I will put at any tournament Light's at, I'm going to say Light. That's facts. If we're speaking based off of numbers, MK Leo. But like, Light, today's the day. Today's the day.
And remember, he said that. This is Friday, and we still got time. Remember that he said Light is winning Collision, because I'm not hearing the second answer. I'm just going to ignore that.
Because if there was a moment for Light to win, it would be now. It would be at Collision. That's what I think. I think it would be the rawest timeline-wise. No one would be mad. No one's going to be like, oh, Light won Collision. Everyone's going to be like, yeah! You know what I mean? Like, that's, come on.
You know, we all love Light wins, especially me. That's my guy, Paris, man.
His sleeves like, yeah, I'm fucking better than you. That's why I love Light. He's the only one that does that shit. MK Leo would be like, I won.
You know, that's...
He's humble. I love him, but like, come on, man.
Why'd it kind of sound like him? You want to talk about that?
I mean, you know, I always say like MK Leo's the Pablo Sanchez. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like when you pick that character in Backyard Baseball, he's just like, it's a wrap, bro. Like, you know, like there's no
shake my hand again for mentioning Backyard Baseball. Backyard Baseball 2005 in my top 5 favorite games of this day. I'm 26. I'll go home and load up Backyard Baseball, and I'll lose a whole afternoon of that game. But now we're getting to the end. I forgot a very important question there, but we got it. Now I'm going to hand the mic over to you. You're going to talk about anything you've got coming up in terms of events. Doesn't matter if it's Smash, Brawlhalla, could be some damn Mortal Kombat. I don't know what you're into, man. Any projects you're working on, socials. Where can the people find you?
Okay, so the people can find me on Twitter at Flambeezy. They can also find me. That's kind of it, bro. Just follow me on Twitter. I don't really be posting anywhere else. Outside of that, though, things I got coming up. I got Brawlhalla Spring Championships are going to be in like 2 weeks. Outside of that, honestly, yo, my schedule looking kind of bare. Like I need
hire this man. Hire this man.
I need money.
He does too much good work for him to be not busy at home.
I got
like
programming boot camp coming up.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's what I got coming up, bro. Because I got to do a career that makes money. You know, actual tangible dollars.
And we need that based on everything that's been happening. We need more some money. Like I need all the money that y'all can get. Like right now, just throw that in my pockets, bro. Yo, the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe. The
Yo, he's spitting. Hold on. Yo, let him go.
And on that note, we're done. He got me. He fucking got me. I'm Dom. This has been Flambo. This has been Caster Call. This is Collision 2023. I'm going to get another caster up here. And we're going to get this guy away from me as quickly as possible. Get up, bro. Get up, bro.
Pop it. Drop it.
Thank you, man.
Anytime.
Dom, this is bothering me.
What?
Take that thing out of your head.
What hair?